Stop everything you are doing right now, close your other tabs, and put down whatever is in your hands. What I am about to reveal is not speculation, it is not another false alarm, and it is certainly not market commentary. This morning, something happened that the financial world is desperately trying to keep quiet. And by the time the mainstream media picks this up, it will be far too late. We have officially entered the resolution phase of a sovereign silver default that is currently jumping from the commodities exchange directly into the core of the banking sector. For the next 20 minutes, I am taking you inside the final stage of a systemic collapse that most people believe is months away. But the internal data shows this is happening right now. By the end of this intelligence briefing, you will understand the 4 pillars of this endgame. First, the mathematical trap of the 23-to-1 ratio that is breaking the paper market. Second, the Shanghai blockade, where port officials are turning away silver shipments headed for the West. Third, the Pentagon's leaked memo confirming silver has reached a mission-critical failure threshold. And finally, the 8-sign exit strategy you need to lock in generational wealth before the system freezes. The screen price you see right now is historical fiction. It is a lag behind a reality that will only become obvious when the ATMs go dark. If you want to be the family that walks into the next system with their dignity intact, these are the most critical 20 minutes you will ever watch. Let's go inside. The most dangerous moments in financial history never feel dramatic. They feel quiet, ordinary, and boring. That is how people get caught off guard. Right now, silver is sitting under a level of pressure that never releases gently. Numbers that sound insane today, like $110,200 or $500 silver, have already happened before under different names and different countries. For decades, the paper market dominated price discovery because almost nobody asked for delivery. That behavior just changed. Consider the calculation that broke the system this morning. Total open interest on silver futures represents approximately 900 million ounces of paper promises, but only 38 million ounces of actual registered metal remain in the vaults. That is a ratio of 23-to-1. This isn't a market. It is a structure built on the assumption that most people will never ask for the metal. Right now, industrial users, defense contractors, and sovereign entities are all standing for delivery. When they do, they aren't met with silver. They are met with negotiations and offers of cash premiums. This is what a soft default looks like. In Shanghai and Japan, physical silver is already changing hands for triple digits, while Western exchange quotes remain frozen at $71. This divergence is the signal that paper and reality are separating. You cannot power a missile with a futures contract, and you cannot build a satellite with an ETF share. Eventually, the system reaches a 0 point where the chart becomes theater, and the number on your screen is just a reference to a system that no longer exists in usable form. While you were counting down to New Year's, the default clock went off. As of December 31st at 11:47 p.m., port officials in Shanghai began turning away silver shipments headed for U.S. vaults. When New York called for an emergency lifeline, Beijing effectively hung up. They said no to the bailout, no to the negotiation, and no to the counteroffer. This is the event horizon. A synthetic pricing system built on leverage has collided with the reality that the underlying asset is simply not available at any price. The U.S. government even tried to quietly buy a massive slug of physical silver from China using emergency purchase of 50 million ounces, cleared through a bilateral currency swap to bypass SWIFT. China rejected the entire logic of the deal. They looked the American delegation in the eye and said, "You run a casino of promises. We hold the actual metal." This blockade has created a 42 million ounce hole in deliverable inventory, a 70% shortfall. To hide this, the exchange has quietly updated its rules, under Section 4C, granting itself permission to force cash settlements at a price they set. This is legalized confiscation. They will mail you a check for $30 while the real metal trades at $110 or $150 in the physical market. History is brutal on people who confuse feeling prepared with actually being prepared. In 1920s Germany, the family with the small velvet pouch of coins bought food for a few months and then slid into desperation. The family with a functional stack bought land and businesses for pennies while others started from zero. You must recognize the 8 warning signs of the top. 1. Retail mania with lines at every dealer. 2. Mainstream media capitulation where every outlet is bullish. 3. Speculative futures at extremes 80K100K contracts. 4. Industrial users stepping back. As prices become too high, 5. New supply coming online from mines in Mexico or Peru. 6. Government intervention through strategic reserve releases. 7. Technical breakdowns, like a 20% drop in days. 8. Extreme sentiment euphoria, where everyone predicts $500 plus silver. When these signs align, you scale out in 20% trenches. Your first milestone is the survival stack, 50 to 100 ounces. This is the baseline that moves you from completely exposed to partially protected. Today is the only day that turns your intention into reality. Stay vigilant, stay disciplined, and remember that when the noise fades, preparation is the only thing that speaks.